The psychology of emotional manipulation. Navigating relationships, whether personal, professional, or familial, can be an incredibly complex and draining experience. Occasionally, we encounter individuals who employ toxic, manipulative behaviors to secure what they want or to maintain dominance. Whether it is guilt-tripping to force your compliance, gaslighting to erode your trust in your own reality, or overt control to limit your personal autonomy, these tactics are fundamentally designed to shake your confidence and undermine your decision-making abilities. Learning how to respond to these behaviors is not merely about winning an argument or proving a point. It is a vital act of self-preservation that allows you to protect your mental health and establish non-negotiable boundaries. Understanding the anatomy of manipulation. To effectively defend yourself, you must first learn to identify the specific weapons being used against you. Guilt tripping is a common psychological tactic where someone tries to make you feel responsible for their negative emotions, bad choices, or unfortunate circumstances to manipulate you into doing something you otherwise would not choose to do. Gaslighting, on the other hand, is a more insidious form of psychological abuse where the manipulator repeatedly lies or denies facts to make you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity. Finally, controlling behavior often manifests as a persistent need to dictate your choices, isolate you from your support systems, or monitor your personal affairs. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward reclaiming your power, as you cannot protect yourself from tactics you have not yet identified. By observing the patterns, you stop viewing these events as isolated incidents and start seeing them as a deliberate strategy used by the manipulator. Masterful responses to guilt tripping. Guilt trippers inherently thrive when you offer explanations, excuses, or justifications, as this gives them more ammunition to work with. When you feel the pressure of a guilt trip, the most effective strategy is to refuse to take ownership of feelings or problems that are not yours. You can acknowledge their existence without absorbing their emotional burden. Use calm, neutral language to set your stance. I can see that you are upset, but that does not change my decision, or, I understand you feel that way, but I am not responsible for your emotional reaction. By employing the gray rock method, keeping your responses brief, unemotional, and boring, you deny the manipulator the drama they are seeking. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your boundaries. Always remember that you are not a bad person for holding a boundary. Guilt is simply an emotion, and you are under no obligation to act upon it just because someone else wants you to. Breaking the cycle of gaslighting. Gaslighting is designed to leave you feeling unmoored and uncertain, effectively making you lose trust in your own mind. The most vital defense against this behavior is to firmly anchor yourself to reality. Do not feel the need to engage in a long debate to prove your side of the story. Doing so often leads to circular arguments that the gaslighter will use to further confuse you. Instead, trust your documentation of events and stand your ground with simple, direct statements like, I am confident in my memory of what happened, and I am not going to debate my reality, or, since we seem to have very different versions of the truth, I am going to end this conversation for now. You do not need the manipulator's validation to know that your experiences are real, and you certainly do not need their permission to walk away from a conversation that is intended to make you feel unstable. Keeping a journal or writing down interactions can also serve as a private record to keep you grounded when the manipulator tries to rewrite history. Asserting autonomy against controlling behavior. Controlling individuals often utilize fear, obligation, and guilt to keep you trapped within the boundaries they have defined for you. Regaining control requires asserting your autonomy in small, consistent, and firm ways. When someone attempts to dictate your schedule, your choices, or your relationships, you must be prepared to state your independence clearly. Phrases like, I appreciate your input, but I have already made my decision, or, I am not comfortable with you. Monitoring my personal affairs, I need us to respect each other's independence, are powerful tools for reclaiming your life. If they push back, utilize the broken record technique. Calmly repeat your original boundary without adding new justifications or becoming emotional. By refusing to negotiate your personal agency, you send a clear message that your life belongs to you, not to them. True respect requires the freedom to say no without facing severe consequences or emotional volatility. The art of setting and maintaining boundaries. Boundaries are not mere suggestions or requests, they are the essential rules of engagement that dictate how you allow others to treat you. To be effective, boundaries must be clear, specific, and enforced with unwavering consistency. Instead of making vague statements like, "Stop being mean," use actionable consequences. "If you continue to raise your voice at me, I will hang up the phone, and we can try talking again later." Understand that when you begin to change the power dynamic, the manipulator will almost certainly push back, a phenomenon often called an extinction burst. They may escalate their behavior in a final attempt to regain control. Stay firm during this time, as this resistance is actually a sign that your new boundaries are successfully working and forcing a shift in the relationship. If you give in during an extinction burst, you accidentally reward the escalated bad behavior, making it more likely to happen again in the future. Prioritizing your long-term mental well-being. Dealing with a manipulator is an incredibly draining experience that requires intentional self-care and perspective. It is crucial to detach emotionally, learning to view the manipulator's behavior as a reflection of their own internal struggles rather than a valid critique of your worth. Build and lean on a strong support system, friends, family, or professional therapists, who can help you maintain an objective view of your reality. Above all, recognize that some dynamics are fundamentally toxic and cannot be fixed through communication tactics alone. If your mental health, physical safety, or emotional peace is being consistently compromised, the most powerful and healthy response is to remove yourself from that environment entirely. You deserve relationships characterized by mutual respect, honesty, and freedom, and you have the absolute right to walk away from anyone who denies you those basics. Investing in yourself, practicing mindfulness, and distancing yourself from toxic patterns are not selfish acts. They are necessary steps for a healthier life. Remember, learning to stand up to manipulation is a journey, not an overnight shift. You don't need to be aggressive or combative, you just need to be clear about your own worth. It takes courage to stop playing the game, but by consistently applying these boundaries, you aren't just defending yourself, you're creating a space for healthier, more authentic relationships in your future. You are worthy of peace, and that starts with the choices you make today. If you found this guide helpful and want to take more control over your mental well-being, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We cover deep dive strategies for personal growth, boundary setting, and emotional intelligence every single week. Drop a comment below. What is the biggest challenge you face when trying to set boundaries with difficult people? I read every comment, and your story might just be the inspiration for our next video. Thanks for watching, and stay empowered.